This is The Roman Show.
And we're back here, Brian Knobs of the Nasty Boys, WWE Hall of Famer Jimmy Hart. And what a pleasure it is. Again, January 23rd, you can't miss it at the Miccosukee took us some time to pronounce there.
Yeah, you know, I'm a wrestler that got banged over the head with a chair about 3,075 times, and, you know, it takes a toll. But I got it right, didn't I?
He sure did.
Well, you're going to get Pity City if you keep that stuff up.
Well, all right, let's talk about this great event because we have Goldberg, we have Kurt Angle, we have Rudy the Barber Beefcake. Who else? We have such a long list of names.
Oh, we have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Mick Foley. I mean, come on. You have Kevin Nash. You have Coco Beware. You have Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Greg the Hammer Valentine. I mean, the Bushwhacker Luke. You got Hall of Famers on top of Hall of Famers. And then you got, that really don't make that many appearances, the one and only Bill Goldberg. I mean, he's the champion of all champions right there.
And I think one thing to note is you have the event, you have the wrestling matches, and you have the meet and greet. So explain to the folks, how is that going to break down?
The meet and greet starts at 4 o'clock, 4 to 7. That is a separate ticket, but that's for all the nostalgic, the memorabilia fans. They get for the money's worth. It's over a $500 to $600 value. You get everybody's autograph and picture. You know, whatever item they bring or a picture, whatever they bring, plus a picture with the superstar. And that is the meet and greet from 4 to 7. Then you have the actual show that will involve everybody that's on the card will be doing something in the show. That's why we call it Legends of Wrestling. Nobody just sits on their butt and, you know, drinks beer. Everybody's out there doing something. And we were just up there at Citi Field where the New York Mets play, and it was a fantastic crowd. We had an awesome show, and we've been building this Legends of Wrestling thing now since 2008. In the last 2 years, it's just been growing and growing because the fans really just love and just want to come see the guys that helped build the wrestling business into what it is today.
So Brian, how'd you bring in Jimmy? I know obviously Jimmy used to manage the Nasty Boys back in the day, but how did you guys come together?
Well, here's what happened. Knobs gave me a call a couple of years back. He said, you know, I really want to do something special for the fans. Not just have a wrestling match, because that's cool, but why don't we do something where we can meet all the fans that grew up watching us, and we enjoyed having them there because without them, we wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. So he said, why don't we put something together where we can have a meet and greet for 2 or 3 hours where the people can get close and personal, get autographs, take pictures, talk to you one-on-one about their favorite matches or some of the matches you were involved in, and then go and have ringside matches so you can have a lot of fun. So he put it all together, did a great job of it. But look at this, it's just unbelievable. When you think about the who's who of wrestling, when you've got Bill Goldberg, when you've got the Nasty Boys, Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash, Kurt Angle, oh my gosh, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ricky Dragon Steamboat, you've got Mick Foley. Now, is Mick Foley going to be Mr. Socko? Is he going to be Mick Foley?
You never know. He might come out as Dude Love. Who knows?
Who, for the fans here, which one of the characters of Mick Foley do you preferably like? Cactus Jack? How about you, Tom?
Dude Love.
Dude Love.
Well, I wrestled Cactus Jack, and I'd rather have him as Dude Love than Cactus Jack, because when he's in that Cactus Jack mode, he's really psycho, let me tell you.
Let's talk some pro wrestling, and I guess we're going to talk about more about Legends of Wrestling January 23rd right here in Miccosukee. Now, when you started back in AWA, you were known as a masked wrestler, as a terrorist.
Yes.
Do you think nowadays that thing will fly?
Well, it wasn't that. It was that they needed somebody to go and tag with Colonel De Beers, and we were going up against, actually, Russ Francis was one of them, and I forget Jimmy Snuka, the Superfly, and they wanted someone to be like, he was supposed to be from South Africa and doing his thing, and he had it out with Jimmy Snuka, so they needed someone in there, so they took me as a young upcoming wrestler and put a mask over this lovely face and put me out there as the terrorist with a mask on. And the first time I wrestled was in Denver, and we wrestled in San Francisco with the Hall of Famer Russ Francis. He was a San Francisco 49er football player, but he got into wrestling, so we wrestled them at the Cow Palace. But the very first time we did it, I came back and we were in Denver. I couldn't even breathe, so I went up to my good mentor friend, Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, who, God bless his soul, he's not here no more, and said, please, Kurt, can you take the mask off? I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And he went and tied it like he was taking off and tied it in a knot, and I couldn't get the mask off. they had to rip the mask off because I almost passed out because it had these like the screen in the front by the face and the eyes and the nose, and I couldn't breathe. Lack of air endeavor is already bad, let alone, you know, wrestling for 20-some minutes, and it was like, please get this mask off, I'm dying in here. And Kurt tied it in a knot and almost killed me.
Well, you guys were in WCW. Cow Palace was a very famous place. I remember, not too far from a park there in San Francisco. That place was known to host spectacular matches, spectacular pay-per-views, Jimmy.
You better believe it. The Cow Palace was a very rough place, but it just shows you the more stuff that we got thrown at us, me and the Nasty Boys, we felt like that was kind of our badge of courage, because that means that we really got over with the people, and they hated us so much they did. A good manager always carries one thing with him. You know what it is? A jar of peanut butter. Because when you have gum thrown in your hair, without cutting your hair in big lumps out of it, what you have to do is take the peanut butter, rolling around in it, and it brings the gum out. You don't have to cut your hair. But Cow Palace was great. Hard to park, hard to get in, hard to get out. And but we loved the fans. It was great.
I wish Jimmy would have told me that earlier, then I wouldn't have wound up with this haircut.
Now, let's talk about you, Jimmy, because prior to you being in professional wrestling, you were in the music business. And one thing that I found very unique is you composed many of the music for the WWE, or back then, WWF superstars, one of them being Shawn Michaels' Sexy Boy.
Yeah, over 5 million hits on that thing so far.
So tell me, what the process of this music, how did it come about? Did you sit down with Shawn Michaels? Did you sit down with McMahon? How did that work?
Well, it really started in Memphis, Tennessee originally with Jerry the King Lawler when I was in the Memphis territory, like all territories were local back then, you know. And when I went to New York, I was lucky enough to be on the first WrestleMania. Dave Wolf came to me, Cyndi Lauper's manager, and he goes, look, I'm fixing to cut a wrestling album. I know you were part of a group called the Gentries, a one-hit wonder back then, but made your summer keep on dancing. And so I had this song I wrote called Eat Your Heart Out, Rick Springfield. So I sang it for him. He goes, I'd like to cut it for the album. So that kind of kicked the door open. And then all of a sudden, Vince liked a lot of the songs that we did, so we wrote one for Shawn Michaels. Sherry sang it first, then she took a hiatus for some time on, so we put Shawn's voice on it. We did the Nasty Boy song, we did the $1 Million Man song, Money, 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 Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Repo Man, all of Honky Tonk Man's greatest hits, Greg the Hammer Valentine, the Road Warriors, What a Rush. And of course in WCW, we did Nash and Hall, the Wolfpack song, you know. And a lot more besides that. But you know, it was a great run. We had so much fun. Jimmy Johnson does great material. But we kind of did the novelty songs with the Rougeau brothers, you know, the famous line, we don't like heavy metal, we don't like rock and roll, all we like to listen to is Barry Manilow, hey! But
what
we
about Kurt's song?
Yep, we did, the Rampus Crap. Yeah, Kurt Hennig, I'm glad you mentioned that. But, you know, it was just a good run. We had so much fun doing it, and we still get royalties off of it as we speak now.
That is awesome, huh? Now, imagine they had iTunes back then.
Woo, my goodness.
Streaming services.
I'm telling you, and to finally get into the WWF, and that's what we always wanted to do, and we were in the WCW before, and then 5 years before that, just making it like everybody else does, little towns, a Mid-South territory, this territory, that territory, South Atlantic, and then finally you come to the WWF and they say, Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South, is going to be your manager. We were ecstatic. And in WrestleMania 7, we won the belts with the help of Jimmy Hart, baby. You don't call it cheating, you call it winning. Winning, and we won the belts off the Hart Foundation.
When you win the tag titles, do you keep a replica at home? Do they give you a replica at home?
No, they didn't give you a replica. No, they don't give you a replica. You have to give it back when you lose it.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't even give you a
But he took a lot of pictures with it.
Yeah, I took a lot of pictures with it, that's for
So
sure.
it's never yours?
No, it's never yours. I don't know how they do it nowadays. I still don't think it's yours, but you lose it, you give it up. You don't get to keep it.
But that's not even a pin?
Not even a pin.
Something?
Thank God for the pictures.
Well, the Nasty Boys have had a long run, obviously. They're very, very well known in the world of professional wrestling. When are we going to get you guys in the Hall of Fame?
You know what? We're hoping, hopefully maybe this coming year. Who knows? It's up to Vince McMahon, but the WWF definitely really jump-started our career after we had that match at WrestleMania 7. I look at myself and compare it to football. I look at guys like Dick Butkus, Ray Nitschke, them kind of guys that were in Super Bowl 2, Super Bowl 4, Super Bowl 5. I was in WrestleMania 7, WrestleMania 8. Now they're up to, I think, 32. I mean, Jimmy was before me. He was in what, WrestleMania 3?
I was in WrestleMania 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Even though Mean Gene at the Hall of Fame goes, he's been in 5 WrestleManias. I'm going 9. Hey, let me say this about the Nasty Boys too, that we're here. And I'm not saying because Knobs is here, but you know, in life, you have a chance to meet a lot of people that you're kind of paired up with, and a lot of people that you travel with and make money with, and you're there because of that particular reason, you know, just to make money. But Knobs and myself and Sags, more Knobs than Sags, and I love Sags too, but have been close year after year after year with other projects too. But I want to say this about what I'd like to propose, and I always do it whenever I do a radio show. To me, I think the Hall of Fame should be, since WWE owns everything anyhow, I think there should be a section for WCW Hall of Fame. There should be people put in for WWF, which is WWE Hall of Fame, ECW Hall of Fame, and then one section for the Celebrity Hall of Fame, because it's all under the same banner anyhow.
I would like to say something, Roman. Now, on that meet and greet, there is only a limited amount of tickets being sold, and just like for the wrestling show that night, there's only a limited amount of tickets being sold. So don't wait till the last minute, because I'm just going to tell you, we're looking as a sellout, because right now, you know, when you say limited number, we're not just BSing here. There's just a limited amount for the meet and greet and a limited amount for the show.
And is there a website? Is it legendsofwrestling.com?
Yes, and there's also a website for
Mikasuki.
Yes, there is.
Mikasuki, they can go out there and purchase their tickets.
Yes. Or they can come right here to the gaming center and, you know, buy them right here.
Now, I want to talk, everyone talks about Vince McMahon and the relationship they had with him. How was both of you guys' relationship with Vince McMahon? How is Vince McMahon?
Well,
some of them say he's good, some of them say he's evil, some of them he's nice, creative genius.
Well, I'll go first. Mine was great. When I went from Memphis up to New York, of course, I had a phone call. I thought it was Austin Idol, the handsome Jimmy, calling me, playing a rib on me, like, hey, New York wants it. I called home, you know, payphones back then, of course, you know, and I was up in, I was managing Coco Beware, Eddie Gilbert, and I forget the Dream Machine or somebody, Jerry the King Lawler, while I was up in Nashville. So I'd call home every night, you know, every afternoon or before we did the matches at night. And I called home and I said, any phone calls? They go, yeah, Vince McMahon called you from New York. And I went, you gotta be kidding me. Vince calling me, are you crazy? So I thought it was one of the wrestlers playing a trick on me. Finally, I went back home a week later when we were back in town, and Hillbilly Jim called me and goes, Jimmy, you didn't call WWE? And I said, I thought it was a rib. He goes, no. He said, there's a show called WrestleMania that's going to be starting in 3 months. Howard Finkel saw your tapes down in Memphis through Vince, and they would love to have you up there. So to make a long story short, they called me. I went to New York. But the greatest thing happened to me, when I was in Memphis, I used to carry a cane. Well, Mr. Fuji had the cane up there. So I wasn't about to carry a cane with Mr. Fuji there. But Vince, one time when I was up there for about 7 months, came back and he said, this is going to be your new gimmick. And he brought me the megaphone back. So he was the one that gave me the megaphone. Thank God it wasn't a piano. Can't you see me carrying a piano on the planes everywhere? Whoa, whoa. But Vince was always, he let me do my jackets the way I wanted to do them, my interviews the way I wanted to do them. And he gave me carte blanche, and he put me with so many. I've never had the Nasty Boys that had been for Vince. You know, give me the Nasty Boys and a lot of the other people I had too. So as far as I'm concerned, you know, he's been great. He really has.
How about you?
Yeah, well, 1990, Halloween Havoc against the Steiners. After that match, got a call about 3 days later from Hulk Hogan. He said, Vince McMahon wants to talk to you. And I said, really? You know, I didn't know if he was, you know, BSing me or what. And he called us and said, we want you to come up, and said you definitely will make more money here, and he was not lying. And without going up there and, you know, being with the WWF, that's what kind of stamped us and trademarked us as being, you know, we made it. And, you know, I don't have no ill will against Vince at all. I think he was great with the Nasty Boys, and, you know, he's doing a great job now. I mean, he's the only company out there, so he has to know something. I mean, all other companies are gone by the wayside, and WWE's still going strong, so no, I have nothing bad to say about Vince. I'm glad that he brought us up, and hopefully one day we'll get in the Hall of Fame.
This year we were met with some very sad news. Brian, you were there in the summertime. It was really fun. It was really actually, it was a touching, sad, very somber moment at the Martins Park. Legends of Wrestling took place here, and I was looking at my phone, and I got a text message from TMZ. Usually I get TMZ news if they're, you know, scandalous,
right.
But it wasn't true. It was actually a very sad one. And it was the passing of a legend, Roddy Piper. You were there along with a whole bunch of guys, including Kevin Nash, guys who have worked with Roddy Piper, good friend of your guys. And it was such a very odd moment, because this is a legend. He passes away. How do we react at this moment? But here we are a few months later. We remember him, his legacy, and everything that he did for professional wrestling and in the entertainment world. But I'm sure you guys have spent so much time with Roddy Piper. You were choosing not too long ago at the House of Legends. Tell me some great stories that you guys shared with Piper.
Well, real quick, I did, of course, we've been Piper's Pit and did other things with him too, but being at Legends House for that 6 weeks we were together, almost 7 really. It's more than 6 weeks, it's about 10 weeks, I'm sorry. The time we were there, him and Hacksaw shared a room next to me in Hillbilly Jim. And every day to go to the bathroom, we had to pass through our room to get there. We had a piano right in the little hallway there. And Piper every night would sit there and play. And now the time is come for us to face the final curtain. And he'd pick it out on the piano and I'd do a little singing. I've got the greatest picture I took and I found it last week of Piper sitting with his bathrobe on, just playing the song. And I've got that picture, I just saw it the other day, but it was a great 10 weeks we had together with all of us. I'll never forget it. And I was really shocked when it happened because sometimes you look at some of the other people that we've worked with through the years, and you can tell they might be fading away a little bit. But that was such a shock; it was unbelievable.
He looked very, very in shape, with great spirits, especially at the Legends House. Good to see him.
Yeah, it right before a big show with the Miami
literally
Marlins,
right before the show,
and actually Gilbert was up in the suite with us, and Gabe was with us too. And when it came over, someone sent it to my phone, and then I couldn't believe it. I was in shock, so I told all the other guys, and everybody right away got on the phone and found out it was true, and we all just started crying. All of us that were there, Mick Foley, Kevin Nash, Luke Bushwhacker, me and Sags. I mean, we were just, bawling our eyes out, and it was just because all of us knew him so well, and it was just he was a mentor to me and Sags. We rode down the highway with him many a times, had a lot of crazy times with Roddy Piper, but he taught us a lot. One of the things he taught us was about the pit stop. He said, don't always use it. He said, use it on occasions, because eventually the fans will get to know it, and they'll be calling for it. And he was right about that. And another thing he says is, on your way out to the ring, take your time. Walk slow, because that means the camera is on you solely before you get to the ring, and then they're showing everything else. That's your time. From the ring, from the coming out to the ring, the camera's solely on you. So do what you got to do. Take your time. And he was correct about that. But he will be dearly missed. I was at his funeral up in Oregon, and it was a very emotional, event, and I still miss him to this day. So
And it shows how much of the impact that even UFC champion at the time, Roddy Rousey, dedicated that win to Piper, which he knocked out Betch Correa that night.
And you know what? And that's what's so cool about these shows. When you get a chance, when you've grown up watching some of the stars, like Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash, and the Nasty Boys, and Goldberg, of course, and Kurt Angle, and Hacksaw, and Ricky Steamboat, and Mick Foley, it just lets you know how fragile everything really is, and you just never know, when you're face the final curtain, like the song says. But that's what's so special about this show on the 23rd of January, the Legends of Wrestling. And I don't even mention everybody on it, like Coco Beware and Brutus Beefcake and Greg the Hammer Valentine, but not only do you get to come early and purchase a ticket for 4 to 7 for the VIP deal and get to meet everybody one-on-one and take pictures and have fun with that, then you get to come downstairs in the entertainment dome and watch these matches, and 6 or 7 big matches, and it's just going to be a great, great night.
Absolutely. I want to open here some questions to the public that's joining us here today. Tom,
I would like to say one more thing.
Sure.
Not only did we lose Roddy Piper, but a month before that, we lost the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and he was another mentor to me and Sags when we came down here, and then we were wrestling for Florida Championship Wrestling back in '88, and he will be dearly, dearly missed. And he was actually Sags' brother-in-law.
Wow.
Yeah, Dusty's wife and his wife were sisters, but through Piper and Dusty, right, happening so close together.
Back to back.
I mean, it's still, and Nick Bockwinkel.
Nick Bockwinkel's awesome right now.
Yes, exactly. And they all been friends of ours growing up and been friends for 20 years, 25 years, and it really hurts, man. It still hurts.
It's crazy. one day you're here and one day you're not, so you have to appreciate every moment. And
Well, that's what was one of the ideas why we got this Legends of Wrestling together, because it seems like the era that we, contributed to, and was it for the 80s and the 90s and maybe the beginning of 2000, everybody still loves all them characters, from the Hacksaw Jim Duggins to the Bill Goldbergs to the Jimmy Harts to the Brutus Beefcakes. I mean, Kurt Angles, Kevin Nash, everybody that was in that era, growing up and building onto the wrestling legacy that was already there. People love us.
And you know what, that makes it so special about the network that WWE put together for 9.99. That people have a chance to go back and watch the SummerSlams and watch the Royal Rumbles and watch all the WrestleManias and all the things that took place back in that era. So it's been great for all of us, that are out there on the road doing the circuit and everything. It's been awesome.
I think a former WWE talent, Armando Estrada, said it best. He said, if you don't like the current product, you can always go to the network and you can enjoy the stuff that you once enjoyed. And he had it right on the nail.
Exactly.
He really, really did. Anyone have any questions here for Jimmy or Brian?
I think Felix does.
Felix?
For Brian, if you could wrestle a tag team now that's currently on TV, what tag team would you wrestle?
I would actually like to wrestle Rikishi's sons. The
Uso brothers.
Yeah, the Uzos. What are you, the Uzos?
Uso
Yeah,
brothers.
but I know them since they were kids, because we wrestled Rikishi. They were the head shrinkers at the time. Him and Samu, and we had a heck of a run with them back in the day when we were both very young, but we had some crazy matches. We had a crazy hardcore food fight at the One Raw, and now that his sons are up there and I saw they're doing really good, that would be a match I like to wrestle them two guys.
Anyone else? Tom? Anyone else?
Hey, before somebody else, let me ask you this. Where, Knobs, you know more than I do on this. Where are tickets? Tickets are on sale as we speak. Where?
Right, you can get them. Yep, you can get
On the website, the Nikisuki Resort, that's where you can print, and also on legendsofwrestling.com.
Legends of Wrestling, yes, and also they're on. If you look into Mikasuki, you also can find they're at one of the. It's not Ticketmaster, it's the other one, but I'm not sure.
Tickets.com,
But you can buy tickets as we speak right here at the Gambling Casino, right?
Yeah, yes.
And we checked the casino. It's unbelievable. The first
Really
time
good.
I've been here, man. I mean, the food was awesome here. I went over here to Gabe and Gilbert
Steak
took
and
me out
lobster,
to eat earlier.
affordable price.
And
Yes.
Just saying.
Knobs went out to eat with us, and I love Knobs. He's always pinching pennies, right? All four of us went together. He ordered one chocolate milkshake with 4 straws. Can you believe that? I couldn't believe
Going
it.
Groupon out there?
And I forgot the tip. What can I say?
Then you'll love
coupon.
Japan. They don't tip you.
Yeah.
$1 off coupon.
So this great event, January 23rd, we're going to
Right.
meet all the folks. And again, for one price in the meet and greet, you're going to take pictures and autographs and so forth.
Yes, that's a separate ticket now. That's the meet and greet ticket.
So
Then there's
one
a
ticket for the meet and greet and a separate ticket for
for
the
the
event.
show.
This is The Roman Show.